This is Popular Apocrypha, Episode 1, The Stormtrooper, recorded on May 25th, 2017.
Welcome to Popular Apocrypha. With us today, of course, is Riley, the handsome hipster, hoping to have a haberdashery. Logan, the media star wannabe, without whom we would not be able to do this whatsoever. Eli, our funny man, but not half as hilarious as he is funny looking. Daniel, of whom I am too fearful to make up a comedic introduction. And myself, a level 67 human tryhard and your host. How are we all doing today?
Doing good.
Man, two of those were really vicious.
Well, it's episode 1, and we got to start off strong or not at all, so here we are.
Agreed.
To episode 100. I'm kidding.
What? Absolutely
Okay.
not.
I'll edit that one out.
But now that you've said it.
And mysterious cut now.
Riley, do you want to go ahead and explain a little bit about who we are, what we're doing?
Yeah, so Popular Apocrypha is essentially just us, shooting the breeze and talking about characters that we think need improvement. So, after all, we have, homes get improvements, homes get makeovers, and people get makeovers, so why not fictional characters? So that's what we're doing with this podcast, I think.
For the audience's information, if you don't know already, Apocrypha as a word means writings or reports that are not considered genuine. So we are going to recanonize, that is rewrite, or like Riley said, make over favorite and least favorite characters. Basically, nobody's safe. So
Yep.
any character is just going to get remodeled.
Except Batman.
I was gonna just say even Batman.
No.
There's going to be a huge smear campaign for Batman.
That will be a 3-episode series.
Think of all the people that would have survived during the whole Batman series if he would have just killed everyone.
We'll wait a couple episodes for that one.
Okay, yeah.
So to get started, let's play a game. This game is called Character Burnout. Each person takes a turn naming off different characters that fit into a given category until someone can't name a character or until they otherwise flub. Each time that you name a new character, the next response you give, the next name that you name, must be in the likeness of that previous character. So, for example, if I were to name Emperor Palpatine, then my next name that I name, whatever name that is, I would have to say it as if I was Emperor Palpatine. So, in that likeness, the character of the characteristic of the characters for today's game is going to be characters from Star Wars. We will start off with Riley on this one, and go to Eli, and then just keep going around.
All right. Cool. I'm gonna do I have to name them in their voice, or do I have to name them then say something in their voice?
So how it works is the next name that you name, you have to say in the previous voice. So you're lucky, so you get to just say name, whatever name you want this first time.
So I could really screw Eli over.
Right.
Do
Yeah, right, because Eli has to say it. Yeah, exactly.
General Grievous.
So then I have to say next name in
General Grievous's voice, correct.
Shit, he's really good at that.
I planned for this.
Sorry, what was that?
I believe
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Okay.
Except he said general because it made actual applicable sense to the situation.
Come on, get good at this.
Go fast. Go fast.
Off myself.
That's pretty good. That's really good.
I'm Logan, by the way. I probably should have introduced myself after my introduction. Cut that one out, too. All right.
Leave it in.
I am not going to be in this podcast at all.
Don't mind while Eli scoots away on his butt.
What is he doing? He's just scooting away up from. Oh, is that even a wood? Is that wood floor?
It's like laminate, I guess.
Okay,
All right.
Logan.
Let's see.
You got like 5 seconds.
Oh, Jar Jar Binks.
That's pretty good.
Blast.
It's not like the one word he always says.
Yeah. That's his non-curse curse.
Annie!
I knew it. Wait, hold on.
Just pick one.
Yeah, just pick one. Yeah, no, my impersonation sucked ass.
Yeah, I don't know what I would do for that.
Yeah, jeez.
Have Misa in front of it.
Not from my perspective.
The Jedi are evil in my perspective.
But that was Darth Vader, though. At that point.
You're just grasping now for that.
No, that's
Dude, like 5 seconds have gone by.
Younger Annie, let's clarify.
I know, but
younger Annie.
I'm trying to think of a character.
Small child, that's all that you have to do.
Dude, child voice.
I gotta really.
Do it.
I gotta think of it. I got a character in mind, but I gotta think of if he would even know this other character. I want you to talk. Talk.
No.
You know, you have to do Annie.
You've got to do Annie.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Damn it.
Squatto.
God.
Squatto.
But I don't like what.
Talk like a child. Name a character.
Complain about the sand.
So Guado.
There you go.
No.
It got really high pitched.
Who's? Oh shit.
The winged, the blue.
You could take off on me.
The semi-racist caricature.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep. I think you should talk like Yoda.
Oh, this is a good one.
You sound like Sebulba now. That's tough.
What did Sebulba sound like?
The other racist caricature.
I sound kind of. You know, it sounds like the generic alien in the Star Wars.
But not like the other one.
No, he almost sounds just like Guado.
Oh, well,
Okay.
He just talks in different
He
language.
doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't speak English. Oh,
Oh, you gotta talk like C-3PO.
that was a good one.
I don't remember. Does C-3PO have a British accent?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's really
I
thick.
don't.
That's his like
It's been a long time.
That's
okay?
his shtick.
It's been like a good 4 years
Anthony
since I last
Daniels.
saw him.
I like how you know the actor's name too.
Yeah.
He's been in everything. Every Star
Golf
Wars.
claps. Golf claps.
Oh, thank you. Oh.
I'm now part of the Star Wars universe too.
Star Wars is my bitch now. Go fuck you raw.
Oh, I say Chewbacca.
I hate you so much.
You got 10 seconds to do. There we go. There's our Chewbacca.
Take it as you will.
What? Did you say
Wild card.
character in Chewbacca?
Wild card.
Wild card.
Wild card.
Okay.
Feel like there could be a lot of those with the Star Wars universe.
This might be the last one, I think, because then we should probably move on.
We should say Jawa.
Jawa. Like the Jawas.
Yeah, just a Jawa.
Here, you got 5 seconds.
An Ewok.
I think you should do Padme. Roger, Roger.
Oh, your battle droid.
I'm a battle
Okay.
droid.
Bloody hell.
What? Who is that?
I'm a sexy British lady.
She's not British.
She's not even
Space British.
And with that,
Yep, that's our flub. There we go. Eli's our winner, I guess, of that game.
I mean, he did
I
nail down.
count
He
Eli as
did
the winner.
nail down the Grievous. So
Who did the best impression?
Eli did a good Grievous.
The Grievous was definitely.
I don't know how well that would pick up
So-
over audio, but
No matter what, Eli won. Basically, is what we're saying.
All right.
I'm a sexy strapping lady.
yep.
Speaking of great transitions, this week's episode is brought to you through partnering with Zane Design. Zane Design is a small, private, professional graphic design company that works closely with their customers to provide masterful and creative products. They offer a variety of services and product creation, including logo design, website template, marketing, artwork, and more. In fact, Zane Design even created our own logo on popular Apocrypha. When you email Zane Design and include the promo code POPAPOC, that's POPAEOC, you can receive 20% off your next total design order. Thanks, Zane Design. Just email lukezanedesign@gmail.com. That's LUKEZANEDESIGN@gmail.com with the promo code POPAPOC, that's POPAPOC, somewhere in the subject bar, and get your professional creative composition with Zane Design.
I went to school with him. It's a pretty cool
So did
guy.
I.
Cool story, bro.
So today, in line with our characteristic from our game of Star Wars characters, we are discussing the Stormtrooper as our primary character. As Riley mentioned before, our goal is to make characters better. Let's make them more relatable or more idealized. Let's rewrite them to how the five of us best see fit because we say so. So does anyone have anything that they'd specifically like to change right off the bat?
Right off the bat.
Change the Nazi overtone.
Honestly,
To what?
I don't know.
American overtone.
American.
American.
red, white, and blue suits.
Could you imagine?
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay. No, you can't.
So giant eagle.
Yeah.
So what is Nazi overtones in your mind?
Did you not see Force Awakens?
I'm wanting you to Force Awakens.
That one
That was-
scene
dude, that
where
was
the guy's literally up on the stage and it's just like, oh, look at that Hitler.
Can I just point out
That
that
Hitler in particular.
Can I just point out that we were talking about this and you said, did you not see Force Awakens?
Oh no!
See? It's
Unintentional puns.
that whole entire thing. And then you got all of them literally doing a hand salute.
It's true.
So
I mean, I get that's the point. That army and those characters are supposed to be in, like, the placeholder for a Nazi party-esque type thing.
Right. George Lucas created the characters of the Stormtroopers,
Which-
the Empire to be the Empire of Germany.
I mean,
Which then, when you think about it, when you play games like Battlefront, where you play as a Stormtrooper, it's like, I want to play as a Nazi.
So would you just remove the hand gestures?
how would you remove
Yeah,
that
but
aspect
then-
of it?
do Stormtroopers really do the gestures?
Yeah.
When
They do in
scene,
Force
when
Awakens,
when
but-
Force Awakens, when that guy's done with his speech, they all do that, like, hand thing.
Considering the full canon, the full milieu of stuff out there, did they really, other than that one scene?
That's a good point. I don't know.
There's other overtones, but if it's, I don't think just
No,
hand
they
gestures.
just went really hard on the Force Awakens, that whole idea.
Yeah, they did.
They were kind of the faceless enemy, kind of.
I mean, they're called the, third...
like,
No.
That's literally just
mean,
Germany.
the First Order. Oh, they
Yeah,
did
they're called the
have a
Third Order, aren't
No,
they?
First Order.
First Order.
Yeah.
It's still a throwback to the. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you
But-
can't really get rid of that because that's kind of the point of the movie.
Right.
But
It's supposed to be, coming out in like the 60s, right?
yeah.
It came out in the 70s.
70s, excuse me. Somebody knows their stuff.
It's literally right here in my notes.
That's too meta. We can't do that.
Pay no mind to the man behind the curtain.
But George Lucas, growing up with all of these stories and stuff coming out of his, that not necessarily his generation, but his parents' generation, growing up in the immediate aftermath of the Second and First World Wars and stuff. Yeah, no, but if we were to replace the Nazi overtones with some other overtone, I would think it would need to have some kind of meaning.
Well, yeah.
It could be whatever meaning has, whatever you want, but
I'm really in favor of guerrilla type, non-partisan, like just expeditionary rebel force. I think
Oh, that kind of gorilla. Sorry, I took that.
You're singing an army
I was
of
thinking Harambe.
like gorillas with machine guns.
like Gorilla Grog's army.
Yeah.
No.
Oh my gosh,
No,
that'd be
no,
amazing.
no. More like
Or just the new Planet of the Apes movie, basically.
I think that there are many aspects of the Stormtrooper that are linear. For example, I don't think they fought well in Endor because Endor was not a linear battlefield. But Hoth, whereas a straight line, they did very well. So I think we should rid the Nazi overtone and replace them with. They should make them similar to the Rebels. I think they would have fought much better. I think the Empire would have won.
Yeah.
So
I
they were
think you're
kind
right.
of like the British in the Revolutionary War then.
Entirely.
They were stuck to a routine.
Maybe that was the true overtone. Maybe really George Lucas was just trying to say, hey, the Nazis, yeah, look at what the British Empire did back in the day with their, colonization.
Mm-hmm.
See, I always
Also
thought,
applicable.
I
I was
always
gonna
thought
say,
the-
sorry.
I also thought the Roman Empire was also kind of implied because it was a republic and then it turned into an empire.
I think here's what we can do. Because the assumption is, and I think it was George Lucas's intent to have it be, the Nazi overtones. But we could make it so that it's more Roman overtones if we wanted to, and we could add head plumes to the
would be
tops of
sweet.
the stormtroopers' outfits.
So then they'd have to duck even farther to
I'm liking
Down in the
it.
doors.
I see
I
no
like it.
downside.
Oh, I see none of that.
There we go.
Because oh man, it'd be cool, like cool little head crest on the helmet.
Okay, so as we picture our new
there's
Stormtrooper, okay, let's picture. Well, which armor should we use? Armor set. I go for Empire armor set. Like
yeah, okay.
Oh yeah.
6 through
See, I like the new order.
I do like
Fourth
the
or
first order one,
sixth.
but
I do, but I think
But the stormtrooper.
Yeah.
right.
If we're talking about those that were like the clones, if we're talking about the clones that turned into the Empire's henchmen, that's the original Empire's outfit.
So I would say Empire era armor. We add a plume on top, and then make it Roman.
what kind of
Yeah,
plume?
What kind of plume?
I mean, I would think it would be, it starts kind of like at the very top of the forehead. It goes straight up about 6 inches and goes all the way back to the back of the neck, right?
I agree.
Kind of like a mohawk.
Because the Centurions had like the dust broom,
Right,
Like
exactly.
flat. I don't like
Right.
that. Nope, that was a bad
think-
choice, Roman Empire.
So
But what color is the real question? Is it designated by rank, or is it
Yeah.
just all the same to signify that they're
you'd
all...
have like one that's just like a smaller one that's maybe like black, and then you have another one that's like,
I don't like the way you said black.
and then you have another one that's like black, but then have like white, like kind of like a back and forth all the way down.
Okay.
Or you have one that's just like flat out red, since all the higher officers in the Empire were always like red.
Would the red ones only be reserved for the Imperial Guard that guards the Emperor?
yeah, it could denote rank.
They're not stormtroopers.
That's true, they're not.
Royal Guards.
We don't really know what they are. That's
I
another
didn't talk about
conversation.
them.
That's another
That is a conversation. Yeah.
Except for Yoda just walking into Palpatine's chamber and just going.
Yeah, just kill
To the
just
Royal
kills 2 of
Guards
them. Whatever.
And that's a technical term. That is a technical term for force pushing someone against the wall until they are incapacitated.
Yes.
So we've got the plume. We've got designated color by rank.
I was thinking the plume could be just the Empire symbol, which is that kind of weird gear shape with
Yeah.
like a circle around it, but like
Hog.
half of it like a mohawk. Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
If I really wanted to keep going, you know how
Okay.
easily you could say that is also almost a swastika-like thing.
Eli's got to have his candy. That was a jar opening for you audience members out there.
Hey, I want one of those, please.
Shut up.
Please?
We are not sponsored by High Chews. Repeat, we are not sponsored by High Chews.
But we'd love to be
Chews.
sponsored by High Chews.
Give me your high shoes.
Let's not go down that rabbit trail, guys. Okay, so we've got the plume. We've got it looking kind of like half of a cog based on the Imperial insignia. If you need to know what that is, just look up Star Wars Imperial
For the
insignia.
record, that is cog with a G. All right, I'll edit that
Thank
one
you.
out too.
Thank you. Thank you for
And
contributing.
we've got it designated by color according to the armor type that they originally have in the original Stormtroopers. So,
Don't forget removal of Nazi overtones.
right. All removal? Or just replacement with Roman overtone?
Well, Romans
Overtly
were
Roman.
genocidal too.
Right, but they're not Nazis.
Correct.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah, they're historical. There are museums dedicated to this versus. Well, okay, never mind.
Removal of Nazi overtones.
Okay.
Period.
Okay. So,
I submit that we should correct their
Grammar.
Did they?
no, we're not going with Nazi overtones. Not even grammar Nazis.
Oh, nice. That was nice. I didn't even think of that.
I submit that we should correct their aim.
Okay, I gotta look.
To be actually accurate or to be worse?
Okay, so I have thought about this. It could go either way, because technically, if they're more accurate, correct, they would be better.
The movies would be over in an instant.
I mean, obviously, they'd be better. Accuracy equals hitting your target, but
Yes. That is what accuracy is.
imagine, okay, because right now stormtroopers are at the peak of inaccuracy to which they hit nothing. But imagine a line of stormtroopers that are so inaccurate that they shotgun blast everything in front of them. I could go either way, to be honest with you.
So it's kind of like muskets in the British Empire.
Correct, because I think
British Empire, we're back.
we're back to the Empire. I think they should go just full on. They can't predict where their blasters will land. There's that whole discussion about perhaps stormtroopers are missing because of fighters' guilt. They don't want to hit their targets, even if they're clones trained to fight the enemy. Maybe there's something still in them that doesn't want to hit it. I say take away all volition, and just they pull the trigger, and if something happens, it happens.
Really quick, a thought. Before we get into, specifically their aim, something that's tied to that I wanted to bring up is how would we want to train our stormtroopers? Because then that would correlate into their aim, as among other things. That would correlate into those other things. So how would we want to train the stormtroopers to begin with?
Can someone refresh me on how they're currently trained?
So-
Because I don't know a ton about the extended universe or.
Like a stormtrooper?
In my notes, I had that the clone troopers and stormtroopers were pretty much put through. Well, actually, the clone troopers were really well trained, but they were put through the exact same regimen, so they could all do the exact same things. The stormtroopers were basically just people off the street that they
Just signed up.
that they signed up. Yeah. So they couldn't really do a lot, and they were kind of just all trained in a group without any real individual problem-solving training at all. The First Order stormtroopers, however, were given a lot of individual training, as we saw in Force Awakens, where they were more accurate with their weapons, and they could do more on an individual basis than just literally overwhelm the enemy with force.
I see. Okay.
So, yeah.
Interesting. So, I mean, right off the bat, I favor the clone trooper method of mass training of a single genetic, offspring that are all trained the same way. I favor that more than picking someone off the street, or then picking someone off the street and giving them individualistic training.
See, I would favor the First Order one because it seems to be the most effective one. Well, I guess if you want your soldiers to be overwhelming and quote unquote expendable, then yeah, I would prefer the clone trooper training part. But
I think if I compare all three trilogies, well, the
Eventual trilogy,
uncompleted trilogy, yeah, I would say clone troopers and First Order troopers are the most accurate and the most effective, combat effective. But clone troopers only fought against droids. They also killed all the Jedi, though. So.
Well, I just found an interesting theory, actually. This theory basically runs around the idea that people in the movies who are important characters, mind you, so any of the Jedis and stuff like that, the only reason stormtroopers are missing is because the Force, in some way, shape, or form, actually deflects the blaster fire.
I have heard that theory.
Like what in
the Force
It's your
protects
belief.
them.
So-
your belief in the Force, basically ex machina as the bullet.
So if you
if
die
they're
from a
forces,
laser
Except for
blaster,
Order 66.
well,
Oh, that's true.
yeah.
Well, I guess they shot so many blasts toward them They couldn't deflect all.
Those are the prequels, and those are awful. So, but there was also a good point that was raised up here in the comment for
Their
this
god
article.
just wasn't strong enough.
Wow. God.
Okay, because here's one thing in the comments. Does make sense after all. In A New Hope, Obi-Wan, when looking at the blasted sandcrawler, said only Imperial Stormtroopers fire was that accurate. And he's talking about the one scene when a bunch of the Jawas got shot. He actually calls attention that their fire is actually super precise, but those with the Force or believe in the Force, it just basically they fly around you. They be inaccurate because they're firing at someone with powerful Force.
That's fascinating. I mean, that's what we saw in
Rogue One.
Rogue One.
Yeah.
The dude that was Force sensitive.
It's true.
The blind guy is a lot of what they point to in this movie is that
Or
one.
we assume that's what it was. Not just guilt. We assume that it falls in line with that theory.
Correct. I favor the Force theory, I guess, in this universe.
There was also another theory I don't think it was actually canon, or at least it was until they said the books and stuff weren't canon anymore, but that at some point the factory that made all of their E11 blasters, which is like their standards, those got all sabotaged.
Fascinating.
So that the factory was making defunct
I've
ones
heard of that. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I guess assuming a perfect blaster and assuming against a non-Force user, training method wise, I like expendable soldiers that are trained equally.
Okay.
So the clone troopers, basically.
I would agree. But follow-up question to that is, who should train the Stormtroopers? I would like to submit that Liam Neeson from Taken should train our Stormtroopers, given that everything... Wait, what?
John Wick.
Ooh, combination. Liam Neeson from Taken, whatever his character's name is, because I don't remember.
Qui-Gon Jinn.
I want to see a movie with
Qui-Gon Jinn
Stormtroopers.
is reconstructed, but this time it's Liam Neeson's character from Taken, whatever that person's name is, and John Wick working together to tag team teach Stormtroopers how to fight.
I want to see Stormtroopers doing John Wick moves like rolling on the ground and reloading and like backflips.
If you don't know what we're talking about, go see John Wick and
I
take
still haven't
it.
seen the second one.
Because the bad guys, either the bad guys are terrible or they're just amazing, and I prefer the latter.
I think that the Stormtroopers should also be trained by Deadshot.
Ooh. Yeah, okay.
But those
Okay.
movies would be over in an instant at that point.
I want the perfect Stormtrooper.
You could have a Stormtrooper halfway across the battlefield,
What-
just like, hey, watch
What,
this.
what makes the perfect Stormtrooper? Does it make it so that it continues to move the plot toward its like ultimate conclusion within the balancing of the Force, or does it just mean the Empire wins?
If I am the Emperor, and my army is the Stormtrooper, okay, I want them to end the movies at 4.
When they're hanging across that bridge and then just
Shoot R2D2 just
Yeah,
yeah.
and then just
that's it. That's what I want.
Copyright. It's still his voice, but it's copyright.
He didn't sing
7 seconds.
he didn't sing over 7 seconds.
Oh, right.
I mean, it is an interesting question of what do we mean when we say we improve characters?
yeah.
And I submit that the Stormtroopers' inaccuracy is a significant flaw in their character design. I think. I mean, it could be argued that the inaccuracy in their character design is important. I don't think it's important.
I think that's just kind of a thing for the movie. It's just
I just thought of something. Maybe, possibly, because maybe like all we see on the Death Star. That's basically where we see like the majority, I guess, in episode 4 of their like shooting. So maybe the ones stationed on the Death Star didn't receive as much training in.
they're stuck on a battle station all the time.
Yeah, I mean, or they're just in sanitation, like Finn.
Was that his actual? Is it,
That brings up another thing. Really quick, to recap. It seems like, unless anyone's opposed to Riley's suggestion, we want that mass training by John Wick, Liam Neeson's character, and Deadshot.
Hell yes.
So we're bringing in a bunch of different things there. And I mean, really, that's all we need for the perfect Stormtrooper right there in training. But so just to recap, that seems to be what we're going with. Any opposition there, Eli?
And they have to be trained by James Bond to be suave.
Oh, okay, so we want suave. We want somebody with personality.
We want ladies' man stormtroopers
Really though,
and ladies' women stormtroopers.
I think it's significantly important. I think that especially in like the episode 4 where Obi-Wan is like, these aren't the droids you're looking for or whatever, and then you have a stormtrooper that's like, no sir, they actually are. You know what I mean? Like,
And Obi-Wan's like, oh sorry sir.
My mistake.
You got me.
So that raises a good question, though. Has there ever been in the canon, and I don't know because I never read any of the books or the comics or anything, because
any of the extended universe.
I ain't got time for that, but was there ever a Force-sensitive stormtrooper other than Finn in these movies, if it's implied that he's
We
Force-sensitive?
don't know that he is, but
Right.
But
and I mean technically anybody could if they were like conscripted.
But would there ever be a stormtrooper that was basically still like a Jedi, kind of?
Here's something that I've actually wanted to bring up early on. There is a theory out there for a variety of reasons that the stormtroopers are primarily if we're talking about the stormtroopers from movies 4 through 6, right? That's primarily the stormtroopers we're talking about. They're derived originally from the clones that were cloned from Jango Fett.
Unchained.
I want to see that.
And there is a theory, and possibly, if I remember correctly, there might be a couple of books out there that suggest that Jango is Force sensitive.
Interesting.
Wait,
If that's the case,
would that also get into the implications, since they're clones, that they're soulless, so therefore they can't know anything about the Force?
I don't want to get into stem cell research here, so let's just skip over that one really quick. Just the thought here is that if Jango Unchained, if Jango Fett is Force sensitive, then perhaps his clones are too. If so, and if anyone related to Jango could be potentially as well, then yes, they could all be Force sensitive.
Logan's making a serious constipated face.
I'm sorry. Well, first of all, I did read somewhere, I think it might have actually been mentioned in episode 2, where they said that they wanted to clone a Jedi, but
Right.
none were available. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
They wanted to.
So,
Midichlorians are genetic, right?
Yep.
but would they copy over in a clone?
I mean, midichlorians are basically just like Star Wars' version of, oh, that thing you call faith, yeah, we're just going to make that into science now. So,
I see.
yeah.
Well,
I got fucking blood.
I mean, we're not drinking.
it helps the thought process. So as a general consensus, to bring us up to speed, so our stormtroopers are episodes 4 through 6 model, right?
Those are the main
Now with
ones.
plumes.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
They are trained by Deadshot, Liam Neeson, from Taken, whatever his name is, and then
Oh, it's that.
John Wick. Correct.
And James Bond.
And James Bond.
Yeah.
So now our stormtroopers not only have cool armor, well, they have a cool plume, but now our stormtroopers are acrobatic, hence John Wick. They're accurate, hence Deadshot. They're suave, hence James Bond. And what's his name?
Brian Mills.
And hence Brian Mills.
They have a specific set of skills.
Yeah, golf clap.
They do have a specific set of skills. So our stormtroopers currently, in terms of training, are great. In terms of armor, I think they're infinitely improved. But now we're talking about the stormtrooper as a person. How do we want them cloned from a different type of? Like, do we want them still cloned from Jango? Do we want them cloned from someone else? Do we want them to be different people? What do we want? I submit that they are. I mean, if we're staying in Star Wars continuity, I think they should all be Yodas.
No, it makes sense.
Just think about it for 1 second, okay? A whole bunch of little stormtroopers.
Release the toddler army.
just ride with me 1 second. A whole bunch of little stormtroopers with plumes that make them the size of regular people. Okay? Trained Give me 1 second. Trained by John Wick, trained by Deadshot, trained by... What's his name? Who's Liam Neeson? Brian Mills. Trained by James Bond, and they're as force sensitive as Yoda. And if they don't die in battle, they each live near 900 years.
That's a good point.
That's a good point.
The only image I have is just a bunch of like rebel people standing in their little trenches, and over this hill just comes a bunch of tiny white men, like.
I don't like the way you said white.
But they wouldn't be coming over the hill. You could fit 800 in an AT-AT that would normally fit 400.
You just see it open up, and then just like ants, they just start pouring out of this thing.
And they're all super acrobatic. No defenses could stop
They're
them.
leapfrogging over each other.
I see all of the perks of Yoda.
I'm just imagining they're being in like the army bunker, right? All with their helmets removed, and I can just hear this. Just all of them just going.
And that is similar to how the Scottish use bagpipes to intimidate their enemies. That's all you hear coming across the battlefield is filtered through the helmet. It's just...
Just a bunch of like.
I have an alternative though.
An alternative. Okay, I will allow it.
Yoda militarily is probably the best option that you can have. But what if you wanted to subdue your enemy without any bloodshed? Okay, here's my alternative. Thanks, Eli.
All right.
My alternative is make clones of Jar Jar Binks. Here's why.
I already hate it.
Here's why.
Okay.
Exactly. Because you just get so annoyed all the time.
You want to shoot them.
You would want to not be around them.
You're
Get
annoying
your
into a coma.
adrenaline so high that your accuracy would be like over 9,000, and you would shoot them in the head from like a mile away.
I think that you would be so just annoyed with them. You'd
The Force would do the opposite of protect them. It would attract blaster bolts.
I've lost all faith in life.
I think that from a public relations standpoint, to avoid bloodshed, you want Jar Jar Binks in there.
I
right?
don't want them on a poster.
Exactly. People will eventually just give up.
Join the Republic.
People eventually
You said
just
gotta
give
be
up.
great.
Nobody's gonna want to fight these Jar Jars eventually. Like, okay, so your adrenaline goes up and you kill enough of them, but they just keep coming, and it's just Jar Jar, and it's just you hate him, but you can't do anything about it. So you just get so annoyed. So you're done. That's it.
Eli's doing a little dance over here.
Yeah.
You have the Jar Jar army as a front for a common enemy to unite everyone else. And then you have a very limited amount of Jar Jars, but you make it sound like they're unlimited. So therefore you must join the Empire to defeat this menace.
This
So
one enemy.
you have these pseudo stormtroopers that are the Jar Jars, and then you have your real stormtroopers that are the Yodas.
You create.
I'm liking it. I hadn't thought
okay.
about that. Two different sets of clones.
This went from trying to improve the Stormtrooper to just why we hate Jar Jar so much. We want to create an army and kill them all.
We'll get to Jar Jar probably in another
We
episode.
will never stop fixable.
I do like this idea though, but not necessarily as a... I do agree that it would be interesting to have it as a dual army kind of a thing, but I also think that it would be also interesting to have the Jar Jars immediately next to the Yodas, because who are you going to shoot at?
Just boy, girl, just...
Just
I don't
up,
think
down,
it
up,
works
down.
like that. Just FYI, I'm pretty sure that Jar Jar is, an amphibian hermaphrodite, and I'm pretty sure Yoda
How dare you
does
assume
what
gender?
ever. No, I mean
Now
that.
I'm imagining Yoda
I thought that Jar Jar actually was. That's not me making fun of hermaphrodites. All right.
Are you looking up what gender Jar Jar is?
I thought.
Wow.
I could be wrong.
Daniel looks up what gender Jar Jar is. I submit.
I don't know.
That's
What
never be.
gender is Jar Jar?
That's gonna be on your search history for forever.
I don't care.
I want Trump to know.
Safe search off. So I submit.
Number 3 on the search engine is Jar Jar Binks a woman?
I submit. Just for simplicity's sake, clones should be cloned off of Yoda.
I would agree. I would. I mean, militarily, it makes the most sense. I think that if you were trying to just annoy your enemies, then Jar Jar would be a good option. One of many. I mean, Star Wars, there's a lot of annoying characters, but moving. I think you're right, and I think we can generally all agree. Yoda, I mean, you can't do much better than that. I mean, that's the entire point, is that Yoda's like the BA-ist character in all of Star Wars. Daniel, do you have anything? Am I right?
Well, I haven't found that part yet, but I found another part. This is part of the wiki, so I don't know how much of it's true. But George Lucas was inspired to develop Jar Jar based on the Disney character Goofy.
Right.
I can see it.
And singer Michael Jackson was originally supposed to play the role.
What?
I don't know if I believe that one.
Yeah. But moving back to character improvement. So now our Stormtroopers have a plume.
Okay.
Okay. They're Yoda size.
They're Yoda everything.
They are Yoda.
We would get to see what a young Yoda looks like.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, and they're trained by John Wick, whoever Liam Neeson is in that.
Ryan Mills.
Brian fucking Mills. And Deadshot and James Bond.
Yeah, this might help you remember. It's the most generic white guy name possible.
That's not
Ryan.
true.
That's my name.
That's not true. Yeah, Logan James
Smith.
Yeah.
I'm fine saying my full name because no one will be able to find me.
Because there'll be 800 of them on Facebook.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
So now, what is there anything left remaining that a Stormtrooper has against him?
I
Or her.
have a couple more things.
Okay.
The first thing
A
is
female Yoda.
I hit it.
Well, that could be a whole nother
Jar
discussion.
Jar is officially male.
okay. I was wrong.
Jar Jar
I
is
thought that I legitimately thought that Jar Jar was hermaphroditic, but I was incorrect. Jar Jar's male. I have two things that I want to bring up. One thing has already been brought up previously a couple of times in passing, so I want to come back to that for a second. Is what does John Boyega in the newest Star Wars movie and in the upcoming Star Wars movie, what does his character Finn add or detract from the ideal Stormtrooper that we would like to see? So rather than just thinking of the Stormtrooper generically like we have been, is there anything that you'd like to change about Finn's interpretation or adaptation of the Stormtrooper that you would like to see modified as well?
So my problem with the whole Finn thing is like, you are raised to what, because they said they took, like, they basically said that they took him from a kid and then they raised him, but at the same time, it's like, he doesn't have the same ideals. Like, you still keep a lot of your ideals of who he raised you. So that kind of bothers me in the sense that, I guess you could say the Force, Deus Ex Machina, just the Force kept him from being converted to a Stormtrooper. But at the same time, it's like, in all honesty, like, he was raised Stormtrooper, he should have been Stormtrooper. But then again, you could say Force kept him from doing that, but...
So what I'm hearing you say is, and it's a problem that we have with the Yoda ones too, is that if they're all Force sensitive, then could the Force then push them all to become, soft?
So are you saying that the Force also instills a sense of morality then?
That seems to be a potential problem, at least.
But the Sith are
they're evil.
powerful on the dark side of the Force. Like, the Force is dark and light. I don't know if... I think Finn's problem with being a Stormtrooper is something that we've yet to be shown in the movies, I think.
Well, he also, doesn't he say in the movie that he knew he was taken away from his parents when he was young?
That's heavily insinuated within the
So
film.
he would harbor a hatred, kind of?
I think
Maybe.
that what, especially this new trilogy, is pushing, I feel at least, is pushing something beyond the Force. I think because, like, episodes 1 through 3 and 4 through 6 were very like, the Force is important.
Midichlorian.
Right. It's scientific backing, the Force. And I think,
Scientology.
especially episode 7, like the preview for episode 7.
They're Thetans, thank you.
The preview for episode 7 has Luke saying that it's much bigger than the dark and the light side.
It's so much bigger than that. And so I think that whatever Finn's issue is beyond the scope of the Force. So I think our Yoda characters would be fine.
I think I do want to add one caveat. If we're going for the ideal from a more imperialistic standpoint of the Stormtrooper, I think it would be best to say that the Yoda Stormtroopers, the Yoda clones, would be socialized. They'd be pushed toward the dark side. Not that they would be brainwashed into like just the dark side, but it would be like supportive toward like being drawn into the dark side. That way we could help avoid any potential problems that Eli and you have brought up about what could be the matter with Finn from an Imperial standpoint.
Here's a non sequitur, but to answer your question from earlier, Gungans actually have eggs, and they grow from tadpoles.
That makes sense.
That means external insemination, so there we go.
All the more reason I want Yoda.
Okay, I think we're sold on that. So I think as long as they're habitually pushed toward the dark side by their trainers. I mean, John Wick and Brian Mills, and who else? James Bond
and Deadshot. I think are
that's
all
no problem.
incredible users of rage and passion and fury.
Would James Bond really be in that?
He has
Passion.
a lot of sex.
Passion for women.
Daniel Craig rage.
I guess
That's true. So, one other thing.
Did you see that scene where he got whipped in the balls?
Yeah. That was
Moving to the next thing
makes my
is would there be any specialized equipment? Because we haven't really talked about that yet. Other than we've got the blasters, but if they're Yoda clones, would we give them lightsabers? Would we give them something else? Jetpacks? You want to give them a jetpack?
The AT-AT side doors just open and it's like
I want
800 come out of the side.
Flight of the Valkyries, please.
If I was to be leader of one of a section of the army, and I had all these Yoda clones with jetpacks, they would be all known as the damselflies.
They each have like insect squadron names.
I'm trying to think.
Go my crane flies!
I'm trying to think. What's the most powerful weapon in anything? Not just Star Wars.
Spartan laser.
Spartan lasers.
What's the Spartan laser?
It's from Halo 3. It's this beam that you have to charge up and it kills everything in like one shot.
Okay.
Wait. Portable
Portal gun.
Death Stars.
Yeah, but that could
I think
easy.
Riley's right about that, actually. Like, even compared to whatever the Spartan laser is, because I don't know about that.
Basically
but
the same thing.
The Death Star, portable Death Star. What about a portable Death Star that is powered by the Tesseract from the Marvel Cinematic Universe? That way it doesn't have to charge up. So there's no time restraint.
Oh my god.
So it just immediately shoots whenever they want.
But you can't really handle it that well.
Yeah, here's the thing.
We make it so that they can. It's Yoda. It's fine.
Are we giving them too much power though? That's the thing I'm kind of wondering.
Look at lots of Yodas with their own individual Tesseract that they just use the Force to levitate. They just chuck it at their end, just like a grenade.
Let me put it this way: you're worried about them being, too powerful. It seems to me that the Force seems to have a way of coordinating that the good guys always fucking win. So even if we give these Yoda clones these portable instant Death Star laser beam killers, that they're still gonna lose eventually. It might take longer.
It makes the name Damsel.
It might take another trilogy.
You have to have little X-wing drones go into each individual portable Death Star and shoot a torpedo into it.
I think that we should not necessarily assume story arc, because then you could make a Stormtrooper whatever you want and lose.
Yeah.
In the empirical sense of make the Stormtrooper better, I submit that our little Yodas with plumes and a whole bunch of training, I guess not necessarily have portable Death Stars, but I'm trying to think, like what would,
bowcasters.
They should at least have blasters and lightsabers. I think they should have a melee weapon and
No,
Here's an alternative.
They have to have both those double-sided shock sticks that those robot droids in the first three
yeah.
movies had the protected General
That's
Grievous,
right,
and
the
there's
purple
these annoying,
things.
noisy sticks.
Vibroblades?
Annoying, noisy sticks, I believe Daniel just said was the official term.
It's like rave gear. They're just
They're shock vuvuzelas.
One more alternative that I'll submit, and if shot down, that's fine. Wands from the Harry Potter universe.
no.
Oh, it's mixing too many universes.
Yeah.
Is it
That
too
would
far?
assume
Does
that
it
magic
break
is
too
real,
much?
and that would introduce
That's way
so
too much
more.
magic in a universe
Okay, you're right. That breaks too much continuity.
where the
You're
Force
right.
is kind of an ambiguous magic.
I'm much more okay with having the idea that in a galaxy far, far away, I mean, it is in the past, though, technically, which is weird, but that, yeah. A long
Relativity
time
and
ago,
science, we
in a
don't know.
galaxy far, far away, I think, in theory, they could have shipped John Wick, Deadshot, and Bill Gates,
Brian Mills.
and James Bond from Earth
Steve Jobs.
to their universe. I'm okay with that.
Steve Jobs. Everything runs off Apple.
So, but I'm
Every
trying to
lightsaber has a little apple symbol.
I think that's it. And then they have to replace them every 6 months anyway. I think that's the perfect thing. And that takes care of your concern
What?
about them being too powerful, is that if we give them lightsabers or other weapons, any kind of weapon that's produced by Apple, within a year they have to replace them anyway. So then it takes care of them being overpowered.
And then you have to plug
No
it
one
into
have a charger in
computer
the
to get
squadron.
Then you have to plug it into a computer to get it to update like every week, and it's like always like
Yeah.
60 megabytes. It always takes forever.
They're always getting lost.
There we
because
go.
they're Using
And,
Apple
and
Maps.
that's how we balance the Force.
Okay.
We introduce Apple products to the Star Wars universe.
I say as I'm using an Apple product.
We are not sponsored by Apple.
I believe it though. I think it would work. So yeah. So
Are there any last thoughts about anything else we'd like to change about these stormtroopers? These idealized stormtroopers?
I don't know. I like the Yoda jetpack army.
Oh, and the jetpacks.
Oh,
I forgot
that's
about
right.
the jetpacks.
jetpacks.
And that kind of compensates for the updating. So,
I would submit that a quick modification: the plumes don't extend to the bottom of the helmet, but the bottom of the butt.
like over the back or
Like
the shoulders.
Like for example, it connects to the helmet, but then past the helmet, it just dangles freely down
Yeah.
to the butt. So
Okay.
while they're flying, it's like
It gets caught on fire with the
Oh,
jetpack.
But if they could like
They're flying through the air on fire.
Can you imagine how intimidating that would be?
They're coming.
but then they could like curl in a ball and make like this ring of fire as they're going.
I submit that it should go down past their jetpack.
I like the idea
Alright.
because I want to see. Like,
Everyone's like, all right. We've all had like 4 beers.
This man.
there we go.
I want to see combustible Yodas flying.
Riley, can you recap for us our stormtroopers elements?
I can. So, our stormtrooper, starting from genetic cloning, is cloned from Yoda.
And
So
this,
they're
this
all-
will continue into the 4, 5, and 6.
Correct.
set. Okay.
So
So they
they're-
continue to do this.
They're all cloned from Yoda, so they're all small and green and lovable until they kill you.
I don't like the way you said green. Sorry, please continue.
Yeah.
They all have plumes that extend down past their jetpacks. They all have jetpacks. They all have Apple produced. I don't think we decided what the Apple produced product was. If it was.
Anything.
Lightsabers,
everything.
blasters,
Whatever.
iPhones.
Their batteries don't last more than 4 hours.
So Apple computers.
Exploding Samsung
What about the
Galaxies.
jetpacks? Are they also Apple?
I don't think the jetpacks are produced by Apple.
Okay.
Their weapons are produced by Apple.
Okay. The jetpacks are produced in China.
That means there's many of them.
Let's move forward.
Yes, correct.
Moving on.
Anyway, and I think that's it. Actually, I think
You got the training,
Oh, right. They're trained by John Wick, Deadshot,
Brian Mills.
Brian Mills.
I'm going to become a better artist because I want to draw this as a character because I think it would be amazing.
and trained by James Bond. So they are suave, acrobatic, accurate, and full of rage.
Okay. That's the ideal stormtrooper. We have recanonized the perfect stormtrooper.
So compared our new stormtroopers to the old stormtroopers, specifically stormtroopers from episodes 4 through 6, do we think that they're better?
They would be more effective at getting the job done.
I mean, it would have ended with
Oh.
episode 4. would just be done. It would just have been
Yeah.
A New Hope, the first 5 minutes.
Well, from the Empire's perspective,
But without defining necessarily what better means, do we think they are better?
Yay.
yes. I would watch Star Wars more.
Purely in a comical sense, yes.
So raise your hand if you think they're better, and raise your hand.
And that's all.
It's
That's
a unanimous decision. They are better. Cheers to that. Drink
I
more.
I just really want my Damsel Fly Squadron.
All right. So this week we talked about the Stormtrooper. Let's do our drawing for next week. I've got a random number generator here.
Oh, nice. Okay. I was wondering about that.
And
So to explain, for each episode we will cover a character from media, whether that be literature or movies or TV shows or video gaming. And then at the end of each week, we're going to pick our character for next episode so that you guys can review on any material that you need, so you can be up on like the lore or whatever. And then maybe you can send us suggestions of characters that you want in the future. We'd love to have that. Or if you guys have specific issues with the character yourselves, if you'd like to submit those. And I don't know if we necessarily have a submittable area yet to submit your comments, but as soon as we get that, we'll let you know.
so our next, based on the just random number generator, we've got a list of numbered off characters here. Our next character for discussion, another rather generic one in a sense, will be Alien from the Alien.
Oh, heck yes! I'm excited.
So please read up and watch at least the first movie if you're capable of doing that, legally, of course.
Pirate that?
Do not pirate it. We do not pirate movies.
I already bought the movie, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, we're fine. So
It's called a joke!
we will be discussing that in our next episode. We'd like to thank Zane Design for their partnership in partnering with creating our logo, as well as for this episode. If you would like to put together a order for them, it's again just email lukezanedesign@gmail.com, LukeZaneDesign@gmail.com, and include the promo code POPAPOC, that's POPAPOC, somewhere in the subject bar of your email to receive 20% off your next total design order. We'd also like to thank you, our audience, for joining in with us this episode. Please submit any questions, comments, suggestions on this episode or the upcoming one, or upcoming ones in general, of any kind, to popularapocrypha@gmail.com. That's POPULARAPOCRYPHA@gmail.com. Once again, thank you so much for joining us this episode, and we'll see you all soon.
Twitter. Should we plug our Twitter?
Oh yeah, shameless plugging. We have a Facebook page. Look for us on Facebook. Look for us on Twitter.
By the
look
time
for
this
us
goes up,
on,
it'll have stuff on it.
Look for us. If not yet, we'll soon hopefully be on iTunes, and be looking for future projects as well. We're looking at a variety of different things, so just keep up to date with us, and we'll keep you updated as well. Thanks for joining in with us this week, and we will see you all soon.
Bye, friends.